Christy, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making a card using the Lawn Fawn Halloween mice. So I've stamped those images on Catherine Pooler Favorite White cardstock with Lawn Fawn jet black ink, and I'll be coloring with my Copic markers. I am going to start with my mice, and I'm going to color both of them the same since you can barely see the one that is in the ghost costume. And I'm going to use my favorite combo for mice, which is W00 with E70 and E71. I'll start with that E71, lay in a bit of shadow on the back of the little girl mouse's body, that's who I'm assuming is dressed up as the cat, and then also on the back of the little boy mouse's body. It's basically just the base of his ears and then the inner parts of his legs, since there's not too much of him showing. Blending that out with the E70 and then using the W00 for a nice little highlight. Then I'm going to keep that W00 and add in W1 and W3 to do my shading on the ghost costume. I'm using just the barest amount of that W3 in a few little places. I still want his costume to look like it's a white sheet, but I want it to have that definition, and it is going to be kind of like a moody sky, so I wanted that to reflect on the white sheet. So I'm blending out that W3 with the W1 and then using the W00 and leaving some white space to really enforce the whiteness of that sheet. I'm also going to add a little bit of shading to my clouds using the lighter two shades just so that they are also reflecting that sky. Then I'm going to darken up this combo and switch to W5, W7, and W9, and I will use that for the kitty costume, adding in my shading first with that W9, which is super dark, it's nearly black, and then I'm going to blend that out with the W7, but I'm making sure to leave some room for a little bit of highlight that is going to really pull this image together. So I'll fill in with the W5, and I just think that is so cute, a little mouse dressed up like a kitty cat for Halloween. It's just hilarious to me. I'm going to bring in some pink tones to color in the inner parts of their ears and their cheeks and the girl mouse's nose. I used R11, R20, and R22, and I really like how that little tiny pop of pink in here really livens up these images, because I'm going for very desaturated shades on today's card with the exception of that pink. And I did also give the little ghost a rosy cheek as well on his sheet. I just thought that was cute. Then I'm going to go back to my E70s that I used for my mice. I'm tying in all these colors as much as possible, but I'm going with a much darker combo. I'm using E74, E77, and E79 for my spooky trees. I love that we have more trees to set these fall and Halloween type scenes, and I think these ones are great. I really love that tiny little spider that's hanging down from the inner branch of the larger tree. I just think that's a really fun detail with the spider web. So for both of these trees, I added in my shading with the E79, blended out with the E77, and again made sure to leave some room for that E74. That highlight is always going to be what brings your image to life and just really makes it pop and shine, especially when it balances out those deep desaturated colors. For the moon, I'm going to introduce some pale yellows. I'll use Y000, Y11, and Y13, placing a little bit of that Y13 on the back side of the moon, blending forward with the Y11, and then filling in with the Y000. I did also leave just a sliver of plain white cardstock, and I added a touch of that yellow glow to the top of my clouds. And then I'm switching to some orange shades. I'm using YRO2, YR04 and YR07 for the candy basket and the candy bag. And just like with the pink of the cheeks and the ears, this is going to add a nice little bright pop on this otherwise very dark and dim scene. I did shade my spider web with W1 and W3, and then I'm going to trim these images out with their matching dies. For my focal panel, I cut down a piece of Bristol smooth surface cardstock with the second largest of the large stitch rounded rectangle stackables, and I am going to color this with some Distress Oxide inks. I'm going to start in the center by adding a little bit of squeezed lemonade in a circular shape, and I was very light-handed with my application because I just want that to be a really pale little glow around the moon. And then I'm going to bring in some salvage patina for my sky, and I'm going to pull that in from the top and both sides. And just take that right up to the squeeze lemonade, but not overlapping it. I want to leave just a little tiny bit of white space between the squeeze lemonade and the salvage patina. Then I'm going to bring in some pumice stone. I want to desaturate some of that salvage patina, so I'm going to dull it down with a little bit of this gray. I don't want to cover it completely, so I'm just coming in from the corners and the top and adding that on in a light application again, and then I will go back over that with my Salvage Patina ink blending tool and kind of combine these colors and make them meld a little bit more. I'll add a bit more of that pumice stone, and then I'm going to darken that up even further by bringing in some black soot. And I want to be very sparing with this. I don't want this to end up looking black, but I do want to create kind of like a spooky night sky where darkness is falling. And so I want that little bit of blackness in there. And then once again, I'm going to blend over the inner part of that with my Salvage Patina ink blending foam. I am going to pull that Salvage Patina down a little bit farther and bring that underneath the glow of the moon, and then just make sure that I still have that circular shape for that glow. And then once I'm happy with how that's looking, I am going to flip this panel upside down. Just makes it easier to blend. And I am going to go back to that pumice stone to add in some ground. It was looking a little bit too pale for me, and I also wanted to warm it up a tiny bit. So I'm going to toss in a little bit of brown. I'm going to use some gathered twigs. And I don't want this brown to necessarily show in the end result, but I just want to have it kind of mixed in with the gray to just warm it up a bit. So once I have that brown laid in there, I'm actually going to go back to my pumice stone and blend over that again. And then I will bring in my black soot and just add that over the corners so that the edging all around with that stitch detail matches. Then I want to de-stress this a little bit with some water, and I didn't want any of the splatter getting on that glow for the moon, so I just set my water bottle down on top of it. It was kind of the perfect size to protect that. And then I'm just going to work my way around that, splattering that water on there. I'll remove the water bottle and blot that up with a paper towel. It's just going to give it a little bit of a softer look. And then I also want to add some stars, so I'm going to bring in some Dr. P.H. Martin's bleed proof white. Mine has gotten really dry because it's super old, but I just reactivate it with a little bit of water. I just used the leftover water that was on my block until that was flowing nicely, and then I'm going to tap that all over the background. And for this time I just used the lid of that bottle to protect that glow of the moon. I'm going to blot up any that got down toward the bottom because I don't want the stars on the ground. And then I'll set that aside to dry. Once it has, I will pop that in my Misty so I can stamp my sentiment. I'm going to use VersaFine Onyx Black ink and stamp out "Wishing you a Mice Halloween." I usually stamp it twice, but it stamped perfectly the first time, so I'm just going to set that aside to dry and pop my card base in my Misty. I'm using Lawn Fawn Dolphin cardstock, and I'm going to stamp in fake tan ink. I'm going to do the little mouse that is sitting in the pumpkin. I think he's super cute. I added a tiny sentiment that says "trick or cheese," plus a little bat and a piece of candy. Then I'm going to go in with some pattern paper using the Favorite Flannel Fall 6x6 pad. I'm going to tear this piece out from the back and trim it down with the largest of the large stitch rectangle stackables. This is going to fit my entire card front, so I'll just add my liquid glue to the back of that, secure it in place, pinch those corners to make sure it's on there nice and straight, and smooth it down. Then I'll bring in my focal panel. I've added some foam tape to the back of that to give it a little bit of dimension on the card. I'll peel off those release papers, line that up in the center, and pop that down into place, and then bring in my images. I will start with the two trees because they are kind of framing up my scene. I'm going to have the larger one with the spider and the spider web over on the left, and then the slightly smaller one without those features over on the right. I just wanted that spider to be in the center of the card. I thought that that would look cute. So once I'm happy with the placement of those, I will glue them down. Then I'm going to grab my two little mice in costume, make sure I have those spaced just right, and then I can figure out where I want that moon to go. Obviously it needs to go somewhere in that glow, so that is kind of reflecting around it on the night sky. And I'm going to tuck that cloud back behind the little mouse that is dressed as a cat. Then I'll glue her down. I want to make sure not to cover up that little spider with her tail or her ear. So I just moved her forward a bit, and then I'll glue my little ghost mouse down. And then he is going to hold the candy treat bag. So I will add some liquid glue to that. Originally I wanted it on the inner hand, but I decided to move it to the other hand just to spread those little pops of orange more around the card. Then I've got these two little extra spooky clouds, which I love. I think these are so interesting and different, and I'm so happy to have another style of clouds. I love anything that's scene building, and I decided to swap those and put the longer one over on the right to kind of balance out the larger tree on the left, and then the smaller one over on the left to balance out the smaller tree on the right. And then I did also stamp and die cut a bunch of these little bats that come in this stamp set. I think they are such a cool little feature, and I'm going to fill in the empty space in my sky with those. I stamped and die cut 5 of them. So I'm just going to kind of spread them around, make sure that I am tipping them at different angles to make them look slightly different. And because they are so tiny, I'm using my EK Success reverse tweezers to place them just to keep my fingers out of the glue. Once that's done, this card just needs a little bit of sparkle, so I'm going to take my Stardust Stickles. I'll add a little bit of that to my moon and my clouds, and then I'm also going to add it to the edge of the treat basket and the treat bag. And that is going to finish off this card. I think it turned out super cute. I'm going to lift it up so you can see all of that detail, hopefully catch the sparkle and shine, and of course give you another peek at the inside. If you enjoyed this one, please be sure to hit that like button and leave me a comment down below. I love to hear from you. Subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell if you want to be alerted when I post new videos. The products I use will all be listed and linked in the description bar below in case you'd like to pick up anything for yourself. And if you'd like to keep watching, here are 2 extra videos I thought you might also enjoy. Thanks so much for spending your time with me today. I hope you had a good one, and I'll see you soon in the next. Bye-bye.